Morning, Uncle Derick.
Hello, Chad.
So today I'd just like us to speak about why and how to build business relationships. And maybe we can start with why it's important and how you've built them.
So I think firstly, the why part for me personally is, it's the simple cliche in life, but I live by it. I think people want to do business with people. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter where I fit into the world of business, of life, we naturally want to surround ourselves with people that we have a familiarity with, people that we can relate to, and people that we find something in common with. And I don't think business is any different. It's critical for people to be able to relate, to conduct business with like-minded people and people that they get along with. It's honestly, for me, no more complicated than that. It's like everything in life. In your relationship with your family, in relationship with your wife, in relationship with your friends, what is it that steers us? It's one, I find something in common. It's I have a common interest and I have a likeness towards them, whether it be emotional, physical, whether it be psychological, whether it be spiritual, there's a connectedness. And I think that is no different in business. So the why portion is crucial. It's also important that a relationship is, and we find that commonality in terms of that. And obviously there's a process and a methodology, whether we know about it or we don't know about it. But inherently as people, we go through a process in our minds and in our hearts to find the people that we like. Sometimes it's by accident, sometimes there's a very specific approach that we follow. But I think in order for relationships in business to sustain themselves, and it's not questionable, it's not always a transactional relationship. It's about a relationship in business outside of not always being the transactional type relationships. In other words, I don't normally have to sell you something, you don't necessarily have to buy something from me. And I think that's where a lot of people get it wrong, is they go into a business relationship thinking the end goal is I need to try and sell you something. And I think that's where a lot of us, I think often myself involved, get that wrong. Relationships are about finding that niche, that commonality, and leveraging that in the right way to create the sustainability going forward. That for me is quite important, and I think it doesn't have to be a complicated process, but I think if in my world and in Derick's world, that is something that I try and strive towards, to find that commonality, that common link in terms of building a relationship.
And how has that approach benefited you over the years, personally and professionally?
Well, one, I've met some incredible people through the course of business, through the course of, let's call it, transactional type relationships starting out. In other words, someone wants to buy something, someone wants to sell something in the context of this conversation. However, and again, I suppose I started out like everybody else did. You don't always go in there with a mission and a vision and an objective to try and strategically position yourself to benefit of a relationship. It'll often start off with a cup of coffee. It'll often start off with something really potentially at face value meaningless. But I've been blessed incredibly in my life. One, to have been surrounded with unbelievable mentors, people that have been placed in my life. And I absolutely believe from a spiritual perspective, they were there, put there for a very, very good reason. And still today, to help me grow and help me develop and help me learn. And it's not necessarily from people that are probably more mature in business or have more experience than me. We learn from each other every single day. So I've really been blessed equally so in my relationship aspects, whether it be a proverbial customer, supplier, business partner, strategic partner, shareholder, fellow colleague, fellow employee type relationship. I've really met some unbelievable people, both professionally, and a lot of them have personally started contributing towards my life, and vice versa. So I've really had an unbelievable journey. If I have to look back today, there's very few people that I've met in my life that haven't been placed here for a very specific reason, whether it be a timing issue, whether it be through a journey, whether it be through a spiritual process, that are still not close and dear to me. So it's been an amazing journey and a really, really awesome experience.
And what would you wish to leave people with, whether it be a question, whether it be a statement, a summary?
I think I'm going to answer that in two aspects. So firstly, people have often asked me what do I want out of life at the end of the day. It's simplistically, I would love to leave a legacy, but a legacy of having been able to make a difference in people's lives. And whether that means rolling a small stone out of their way, whether it means helping change a career path for somebody, whether that means fundamentally being able to influence people's lives through friendship, through relationships, through the value that I bring as a person. So I think for me, being able to leave a legacy is fundamental. But I think in probably a little bit more personally, I would propose and probably suppose, as I challenge myself every day, is in terms of whatever I'm doing in terms of building relationships, am I being sincere about it, and am I doing whatever I'm doing that is true and transparent in the best interest of people?